Alright, welcome to another episode of the Ike and Zeke podcast. I'm Ike.
I'm Zeke.
And we're very happy that you're listening and tuning in to another episode. We got a packed show for you today. We're going to be talking a little bit about the NBA Finals, the recent WWE PLE Night of Champions, and then we're going to end with discussion on anxiety and how that correlates with a relationship with God as well. So, without further ado, we're going to get started with the recap of the NBA Finals, giving our reaction to what happened. The Oklahoma City Thunder were able to beat the Indiana Pacers in Game 7, so they are the NBA champions. And I think that was just... Of course, there's a lot of things that you can talk about. There was an unfortunate injury to the best player on the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton. But I'd love to know what you thought about the series. Did you think something was going to happen differently if Tyrese Halliburton didn't get hurt early in that game? Or do you think that the Thunder were destined to win the championship?
Yeah, I think it was going to be a nail biter for me. I think it would have been a closer game for sure, and it would have been too close for comfort between the Pacers and OKC. And at the start of the game, Halliburton was doing really well.
And he came out firing.
Yeah, he came out firing, doing his thing, and that injury happens, and your just heart sank and everything. And you got to give Pacers credit for trying to still stay in the games, trying to still do what they can. But at the end of the day, they still lost their best player too. They were missing that special ingredient that makes them special. And so, again, not to take away from OKC at all, but that's a big what if, because it's what if Tyrese was there and everything? What if Tyrese was available, ready to go? And so it was interesting. It was interesting to see.
Yeah, I think I don't want to say there's an asterisk around the championship, but just as a what if scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I think any NBA fan would have loved to just see it. Everybody's at equal strength, and to just see who's the best team without any injury happening, especially in a Game 7, which is it's a literal do or die game. But I think the biggest factor, because I think the Pacers were able to stick around, make it a close game in the first half. I think in the third quarter, the biggest thing that happened is OKC's defense, which has been the best all season, been dominant all season long. It overwhelmed the Pacers because TJ McConnell was their point guard, and he was getting some key buckets for them, but I think his inability to kind of shake defenders was forcing him into some unnecessary turnovers, and the rest of the Pacers, like Nesmith, Siakam, Nembhard, they kind of rely upon Halliburton to set them up to get better looks. And so I think when that didn't happen, Halliburton wasn't able to stem the tide for them in terms of getting them organized and not turning the ball over and allowing the Thunder to just turn their defense into offense off of forced turnovers. But no, I think the Thunder, they proved that they were the best team all year. I still think that was true. And SGA, kind of want to segue into a different part of the discussion. I think SGA is creeping into the best player of the world discussion. I don't think I've been seeing people in the aftermath. I think this is recency bias, but some people are already saying that he's the best player in the NBA. I wouldn't go that far. I'm a very big Luka Doncic fan, but I would say now SGA has hardware. He won the scoring title this year, MVP, championship, and Finals MVP. Luka Doncic, he's won the scoring title, but he hasn't won an MVP or a Finals MVP. So I'd say SGA is the best guard in the NBA.
The best guard. I don't think that's a stretch to say. I mean, as much as I don't want to agree with that or anything like that, but I don't think it's a stretch because with the reasons that you did say.
You don't want to agree. Who else would you say?
There's a lot you could say. There's other people I don't want to say.
It's Jokic and Giannis, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That are probably the top two, I'd say. And then, so what hesitation would you have with any other guard? Who? Kyrie Irving?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving, we could argue Anthony Edwards as well.
Anthony Edwards?
Yes. I mean, I guess he's a forward, but he has
no, he's a guard.
Yeah,
but
so.
why would he be? How is he better than SGA? In what metric? In what way?
I don't know. Just in some ways.
Just in the way he's charismatic.
It's exciting and everything. Like, I guess if we're strictly talking about
basketball,
sure, yeah, basketball, then yeah, we can say SGA. Sure, we'll say SGA.
Okay. SGA is the best guard. That's what you're saying, but you're not going as far as to say he's the best player in the NBA.
No, I'm not.
No. So you would still, who are you saying?
I'm still saying Giannis.
Giannis over Jokic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Giannis over Jokic, yes.
Wow. That's, wow. Okay. So, yeah, with the NBA Finals kind of being done now, it's off season, there was one trade that did happen that I kind of want to discuss. There's been significant free agency signings already, but Kevin Durant was traded to the Houston Rockets. And I think, I'm going to go first on this, because I think this is a perfect trade, honestly, because the Rockets traded Jalen Green and then Dylan Brooks, who Dylan Brooks is a valuable player, but he's not like a star, I'd say. So they essentially have traded Jalen Green for Kevin Durant. And I think the biggest reason why they didn't win the first round series against the Warriors is because they didn't have a consistent go-to guy who could score the basketball. Jalen Green was, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but he was pretty bad in the playoffs. Like,
he was bad.
I mean, it was kind of embarrassing. So, like, getting a guy like KD, he fits perfectly well. He won't have to, I mean, really all he has to do is score, because they have great defenders in Amin Thompson, and then Şengün, Alperen Şengün is a great budding star as well. So, I think it's a good fit, and I'd say they might be the chief rival to the Thunder in the West. What do you mean? They were the 2 seed this year.
Okay, yeah, but
and now they're getting.
I mean, as much as on paper it does look good and everything, I also got to remember it's still KD, and how has he proven that he can lead a team and everything is what I'm thinking about too. Like when again with the Warriors and everything, that was Steph and Clay and Draymond and everything, and he was there, right?
I didn't say they were.
But I'm just talking about too. Like, okay, the Nets. He goes to the Nets. What happens? Like they got all these pieces, all these stars and everything. And
yeah, and a lot of that had to do with injury. Your guy, Kyrie Irving, got hurt in the playoffs when they were beating the Bucks when Giannis ended up winning the championship. They were up in that series. Kyrie gets hurt. He still single-handedly, because James Harden disappeared like he normally does in the playoffs. And they went to Game 7 still. But, like, I'm not saying they will win the championship, but like outside of OKC and maybe Minnesota, like I don't know who else is like.
So we discount the Lakers now, like
Lakers. I think the Lakers need to improve their like depth. I mean, they're probably gonna lose Austin Reeves. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they did pick up DeAndre Ayton. They needed a big man badly, so. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, they got Ime Udoka for the Houston Rockets, so I mean, they got the coaching there, I guess, for the Rockets, and then with the addition of Kevin Durant, yeah, okay, maybe the more I think about it, like, because okay, I'm thinking about the coaching too, and again, I think KD's a big person who's like, oh, I'm just gonna do what I gotta do, so. That's the thing, like, as far as leadership goes, like, okay, you got this great player and everything, but who's going to be the player leader? Like, who's going to...
The player leader? Like, I mean, maybe a guy like Fred VanVleet, who, he is a champion, like, he was a champion.
Okay, so it's KD champion, but he wasn't the leader, though.
I think... Not all the time. Like, your best player doesn't have to be your leader.
That's true. But again, I ask my question: who's going to be that leader? Who can lead the other? Who can get the other players, galvanize the other? Because again, KD's going to get his numbers, but are we so certain that all the other players are still going to get their numbers too?
Okay,
all the Houston Rockets?
That might be a limitation to why they won't win the championship. But I'm saying being the chief rival to the Thunder.
So you're just strictly speaking about the okay.
Like,
I thought we were talking about championships and everything.
Well, I think we have to see how they fit together. I think it fits well.
On paper, on paper.
But, like, you have to see the games to see championship, you know. But I don't see them, like, not being outside of it. I see them being in the top 4 in the West, for sure. So, I'm excited about that. And I think the East is going to be completely wide open. Because...
So wait, why were the Suns so low then?
The Suns?
Yeah, like...
I think that was bad roster construction, for the most part.
Bad roster.
They didn't fit well. Like, they had... If you looked at it, I saw someone say this on the internet, they had basically a worse version of Kevin Durant in their big three. It was Kevin Durant, Devin Booker plays very similar to Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal plays very similar to Kevin Durant.
Similar play, yeah.
So they didn't have a point guard. Most of the time they had Devin Booker playing as a point guard. That's not what he's naturally. He's a scorer.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, I mean, I think the biggest part for them, I felt like, was their defense. They just didn't have a strong defense. They didn't believe in their coach, so... But that, I agree, that has something to do with Kevin Durant. I don't think that he can be, like, your leader. But I'm saying on this team, I think all he has to do is be their best scorer.
That's all he has to do, right?
I think he's proven that he can score the basketball.
Yeah, okay.
But we'll see. I know you're skeptical for some reason. You're skeptical of one of the greatest players of all time, but... Because he's a bum.
He's one of the... Oh, wow.
What do you mean one of the great? Yes, he's one of the greatest of all... What?
One of the greatest scorers?
One of the greatest players of all time.
Oh, okay.
He's like a top 5 scorer of all time.
Oh, interesting.
What is up with this Kevin Durant, slander?
It's not slander, it's just... Okay, I'm not... the praise... I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it, so...
All right. Well, we'll continue this at a later date for sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right. So next, I kind of want to discuss a little bit more about Night of Champions, the WWE pay-per-view that just happened last weekend, and there was a pretty significant amount of matches that happened, and I think a lot of this is going to set up what's going to happen going into the summertime for SummerSlam. But I'd like to know what you thought were some key matches that you thought were pretty good, or something where you wish a different result might have happened.
Yeah, with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, their match and everything, it was good. It was a good match and everything. I enjoyed it. I predicted Cody Rhodes was gonna win and everything, but at the same time though, there is a part of me that is tired of Cody Rhodes winning everything, you know what I mean? I get the end goal is for him to be champion again, that's one, but it's also okay, does he have to win every single thing? Does he have to be...
Did he have to win the King of the Ring?
They could
have given it to someone else, possibly.
Someone else, exactly. There were so many other options too, and someone else that can be propelled too, and I think in some ways WWE, I think they struggle with highlighting younger talent a little bit now. It feels like it's, okay, John Cena, CM Punk, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, as far as them getting that spot, then even Seth Rollins too as well. And again, it's just, for me, I feel like it's hard for younger talent to get into the scene, and to a certain, it's what we want. We want to see John Cena. We want to see CM Punk. We want to see people we recognize and admire.
That draw.
But again, with younger talent too, I do think about, Chad Gable. I do think about, even who else? Potentially Solo Sikoa getting more of a shine and everything. I know that not saying him, but just examples of younger talent and everything too. So for me, it was okay, I get them wanting to just highlight. And then with Jade Cargill and winning her match as well too, I like that. I didn't mind that at all. The match was a little shaky, I'll admit, as far as that, it felt
I just think they didn't have the greatest chemistry.
Yeah, they didn't, you could tell that it was okay, it was an awkward match a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was cool with her win just because again she's new to the company and everything, and so that was great. And then Solo Sikoa and
Jacob Fatu.
I don't know why, because I'm thinking about his brother. Because I was thinking about his brother coming in and everything too. That's why. And then the like new bloodline and all. But their match was really good. With Jacob Fatu as well. Like I think people expected him to win and everything. So I appreciate that unexpected.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, I appreciated where Solo Sikoa, because it's like finally something. Like not as predictable. Like I could predict Cody Rhodes win. I could predict Jade win, and I could predict
John Cena.
No, I was gonna get like Rhea Ripley and everything, and even like that would be cool if Raquel won that match for me. Just because it's like I get like that's an opportunity to propel her. Like she's still a tag team champion. She's still a like great wrestler too, and everything. So for me, I mean, I was okay. I mean, the match was still good, but I was still like even that I was like okay, but. Yeah, with that, and then going into the main event with John Cena, CM Punk. I expected Seth. I told you before the match that Seth Rollins was somehow going to be involved in everything, and I do like that it was a little bit different. We didn't get the typical John Cena, his new special move with the like title and all that. So for me, I appreciated that just because it was like okay, sweet, like. We got something different at least, and Seth Rollins like showing like he wants that title at least. Like just seeing that. I mean, who knows? He might go for the World Heavyweight Championship too and everything. But again, I would have liked to have seen Gunther there too as well because it is Night of Champions too, and it's like
it was Night of Champions, but there were two champions. I think there were two.
Exactly, the United States Championship and then.
Yeah, because Io Sky can defend.
Exactly.
Defend, yeah.
So it's like, why are we calling it Night of Champions when it's just literally two matches for... So, and then I'm also thinking, should King of the Ring be another...
They should have just named it King of the Ring. That's
at that point, if you're just going to show that and all, but... Yeah, overall, that match was okay. It was good. You could tell that CM Punk and John Cena have great chemistry still. They still got it, and... Yeah, I like how, it didn't... Again, it was Seth Rollins ruining CM Punk. Yeah, so like, because it just still kept his character in line, and then also the fact that they're still intertwined with each other as well too. And again, I enjoy I mean, not as much as I enjoyed him and Drew McIntyre's. Where I feel like theirs was like more enjoyable and fluid to me, but this one's more. You can tell this one's more personal and more. Gritty and all that, but like I said, I enjoy their rivalry. I think CM Punk works really well with whoever he works with and everything. So yeah,
I'm gonna start with where you ended. I would say like I think CM Punk and Seth Rollins they've had three matches that I can remember. For Raw on Netflix debut, the steel cage match was amazing. And then the triple threat with Roman Reigns. All their matches, I think, compared to Drew, CM Punk and Drew, I think those three matches have been better than the three that they...
I'm talking about the story, but yeah, I get what you're saying
the
about
story
match.
Yeah, I think CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, they had better promos. Like, when they were talking back and forth, and the story about it was... They were, like, screwing each other over back and forth. So, I think that was good for sure. I agree with you though about I think WWE they struggle with highlighting like emerging talent in the men's division.
In the men's division,
for sure.
Yeah.
I think they have an easier time doing it in the women's division though.
Maybe.
Like Tiffany Stratton now, she's basically kind of the face of SmackDown, and then Jade Cargill, like that's probably gonna be the match at SummerSlam, I imagine. And they're two young stars that they're trying to show, and like so I think they do a good job with that, although like of course I see people in comments saying like Rhea Ripley just always is in the spotlight, but that's because I was at Monday Night Raw and she gets the loudest reception over anyone, right? I mean they reward like the people that get the loudest reception, so that's what I think. But regarding the main event, I think John Cena and CM Punk, it's sad that most likely their last match, and I think they have amazing chemistry. And I think there were a lot of callbacks to like their great match in 2011 at Money in the Bank. And I think this is slowly still trying to plant the seeds that John is gonna turn back to being a face, but I like that CM Punk is still being involved with Seth Rollins because I feel like they need to have another payoff where maybe the title might be involved then, if CM Punk or Seth Rollins cashes in Money in the Bank to get the championship. But I don't know. I think I agree with you. Like Cody Rhodes, I think the winner should have been whoever Gunther's gonna face at SummerSlam. Because I feel like we know that Cody is gonna face John Cena.
Yeah, we know. Yeah,
and there's no reason to you could, like you said, you could use the King of the Ring because it's so many Hall of Famers have won King of the Ring. I was trying to remember who they listed, like Triple H, Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Brock Lesnar. Like so many guys have won.
Brock was young when he won that. Exactly. So it wasn't like he was in his 30s that he's like the youngest. No, is he still the youngest WWE? I don't know if he's still the youngest WWE champion ever.
I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah.
But yeah, that propelled his career and everything too. So
they called him the next big thing for a reason, and he was. Exactly. So yeah, I don't know who would have been on Raw, but somebody, even if they lost the championship match,
it's still that's even better for Gunther. If anything, if you're still trying to build up Gunther more and everything, then. Yeah, that's even better then too. But it's okay, we can build up this underdog now. We can, even if they lost this match, had that Sami Zayn effect to them and everything as well. And again, they have Sami Zayn, but it's they're scared to take him to that next level. They want
to pull the trigger. It's they want to keep holding on the story of he can't win the big one. He can't win the big one.
They want to hold on. Yeah, they want to hold on to it. They like telling it, and I guess for WWE, they're big on long-term stories. Because again, it took Cody Rhodes years to still get the WWE Championship.
Yeah, it did.
And everything, and so for them, they're looking at that payoff. See how that paid off, and I think that's what they're selling to a lot of WWE stars. Look what we did with Cody, and look what's happening. That can be you too if you just. Wait a little bit longer. It might take more than 2 years. It might take more than 3, 4, or 5 years and all that. Yeah. But at the same time, though, I mean, back then, and all that. Again, there was again, with the Attitude Era. Then again, when I'm thinking about Brock and then the Ruthless Aggression Era, there were just so many stars that wanted to be at top and everything. That was the thing. They had that hunger to be on top and everything, and so we saw a lot of banger matches on SmackDown and Raw because there were so many people that wanted to be on top and everything, that wanted to be the next big thing and everything. And so I mean, I think that's something that's missing and everything. I think there's a lot of people that are just comfortable.
Yeah, they just go through emotions.
They'll
have one highlight or spotlight one great match, but it's usually the undercard matches that would happen in the Ruthless Aggression Era that would just shock you and be oh wow, that match I wasn't
expecting that. Yeah. And then it's this wrestler is something else and everything too. And again, that was what made the Ruthless Aggression Era special, was because again, you gotta remember there was Batista in that. There was John Cena, Randy Orton,
Edge.
Shelton Benjamin, Edge, and all so many the Hardys and everything, the Dudleys, and the tag team division was stacked and everything. It wasn't anyone was trying to be okay, yeah, I'll wait till my turn for this. I'll wait till they really wanted it and everything, and so that's what at least it felt like. And so, but that's all I gotta say.
No, I agree. I think moving forward, the rest of this year, I think WWE will try to, probably start highlighting some younger talent, but I feel with SummerSlam approaching, they want to, maximize having the higher profile names because SummerSlam is their second biggest pay-per-view now that they're moving it to 2 nights. So similar to WrestleMania, where they want to, make sure they're getting as much people that can tune in and watch, big names.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens next.
We shall see.
All right, for our last topic today, kind of want to, again, end with what we normally do, which is a discussion on faith, relationship with God, and how, sometimes everyday topics that, we all might struggle with, or mental health issues that we might be going through, and how, getting through those things with God on our side, and of course, loved ones with you. So today we want to have a discussion on anxiety, and give our thoughts on how we've battled through it, certain experiences that we've had with others perhaps that have gone through it as well, because I feel like it is a sensitive subject to talk about, but we want to do it as well as we can to the best of our capabilities. So I'll let Zeke go first if he wants to, or... No, alright, I'll go.
No, I can go first.
No, it's alright, because
why?
I think this is a sensitive topic, so I just want to discuss a little bit first about, I think anxiety is something that is not really discussed as openly as it needs to be discussed, because I feel like it can be seen as a weakness. I think sometimes a lot of people struggle with it because, they care about things too much, or things can be overwhelming. And that's why I think parlaying like that sentiment into a relationship with God is so important. So I just want to discuss like one verse that's very near and dear to my heart, and a person in the Bible who I feel like was the epitome of this topic, and how God always can give you what you need to get through certain situations and be even greater than you imagine yourself to be. So 1 Peter 5:7, it says, "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." And I think the sentiment of this is really saying that God understands that, he's not saying that you might not feel apprehensive at times about certain things that are going on in your life, that might be a job, a relationship, a death in the family, sickness. But it's saying that you can put your trust in God to get you through those situations. And if you continue to feel anxious, and to the point where it's detrimental to your health, it's detrimental to how you relate to others, then that means that you haven't been, and you don't trust God as much as you say you do, or as much as you want to project yourself to seem like. And I think for me, like one anecdote for me is, through my life, I really didn't struggle with anxiety that much, but I feel like one specific situation that I think typically I do deal with it is with public speaking. And I feel like that struggle comes through me not feeling confident in myself, not feeling sure about myself, and thinking that if I say the wrong thing, that somebody might laugh at me. And I'm talking about a stranger, although Zeke will always laugh at me no matter what if I mess about anything. But I think that is just one situation where I feel like I had to learn to just pray to God and ask Him to guide me through the situation, and realize that it's not the worst thing in the world to talk about what you're going through, or anything. It's not a sign of weakness, it's actually a sign of strength. But I feel like one person in the Bible that epitomized that sentiment is Moses. Oh. I feel like Moses, we know that he was one of the biggest figures in the Bible, in terms of his significance. And I think God equipped him to be able to lead the Israelites out of captivity from Egypt into the Promised Land, but he didn't do it because Moses had so much qualifications. No, but God called Moses, but and then he gave him the qualifications to be able to do it, to be the leader that he needed to be. Because Moses had a stutter, he didn't speak as eloquently, and so God brought in and equipped his brother Aaron to help Moses to speak eloquently and, you know, perform miracles to show how much of a leader he was, and to give him the credibility to speak to the Israelites. And so I think Moses is just a simple example that, you know, anyone can be used for God's glory. You know, anyone can be. And no matter how anxious you are about a situation, if you feel like you're not qualified, God will qualify you. But that's all I gotta say for that. I'll let Zeke go now.
Oh, that was amazing. No, I appreciate you sharing it and everything. And also, just thinking about how, like, really, like, everyone goes through different forms of anxiety or even depression in different ways. It makes me think, like, yeah, even public speaking too. Like, I get nervous about public speaking in some ways too, and everything as far as that goes. And even for me, sometimes I also doubt myself too, a doubt in that sense, and also dealing with, you know, depression too. But then also, one of the things I recently told some friends and family was that I struggled to even like myself too, as far as that, just having anxiety over that. And it's like me struggling to like myself, and if I'm struggling to like myself, how can other people like me and everything? And so that anxiety is just building upon building upon building in different ways. And so you just see that there are so many layers to anxiety and depression if you don't even address it too. That's if you don't even address it. And so there are a lot of people that have anxiety just built up after built because they've internalized so much, and even not even discussed it or talked about it. And one of the things I was thinking about was, like, about a biblical figure that really does speak to me a lot is Elijah the prophet. So Elijah, he's a character that really, not a person, a prophet.
Yeah, I know. It's all right.
He's a prophet that really experienced anxiety and depression when he got this great victory, and the Queen Jezebel was like, I'm going to threaten you, I'm going to kill you. And so one of the things he did was he ran away every day because he was scared for his life, and he was even thinking about killing himself too, and everything. And so he was like alone, scared in the wilderness and all that. And like, for God, he understood that too. So God like sent an angel to Elijah to like give him some rest, give him some nourishment. And then also God provided support and care during a difficult time in his life and everything too. And again, it wasn't like God was like, why are you running away and everything? Like, why are you doing that? Like, you're supposed to be like this great prophet that I trusted in and everything. But even God, in that way, he recognized how mental health is serious and everything. That way, he's like, yeah, like, I understand that, like, you're scared for your life, right, please? Because you did something big and major, fire came from heaven and all that. And so, yeah, that's understandable. But just hearing the fact that, like, yeah, he ran away. He was suicidal and everything, too. And so that his story resonates, and then him getting back up too at the end of the day. He didn't get back up by himself. That's the key part. He didn't get up it was with God's help and everything. And then it makes me think of two scriptures that really resonate with me and sort of resonates with Elijah. It's Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Like, just let God, like, give me that shit. Like, I got you, okay? I got you. And then sometimes we're victims of our own thoughts or enemies of our own thoughts. Going back to what I was saying, as far as like our anxiety building up, our like us trying to like make these assumptions, make these like ideas in our head that we're not enough, that we're, you know, meant to be struggling all the time. And then I remember scripture, Proverbs 3:5-6. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths straight and everything. Like, again, just when we're leaning on our own, we struggle. We don't know all the answers and everything. Like, this goes back to episodes where I talked about how God got this old picture of us, but we're so focused and dialed in on this one missing piece or this other piece, and then we're just remaining focused, remaining stagnant on just focusing on that piece, because it's like that gives us so much anxiety, gives us so much depression, as far as like, let's say it's something along the lines of, oh yeah, people don't necessarily like me, I feel like, and I don't even like me sometimes, and yeah, I'm this. Just focusing on my flaws and everything, and not seeing any of the positives that I do have in myself and everything. Like, not seeing, well, wait a minute, you're also this, Isaiah. You're also creative. You're also engaging to other people. You're also friendly to other people. You have this creative mind, imaginative mind that I blessed you with too, and everything. Like, there's so many parts of you, Isaiah, that's so positive and amazing. But you're so focused on the flaws and everything. You're so focused on what you understand or what you want to believe in, when there's so much more to you than just this one thing you're focused on and everything. And like I said, that's not easy too, as much as, we are still human. Like, again, Elijah was a great man of faith and everything too. He was a great prophet, everything. Did so many, but he struggled. He literally was struggling. He literally ran away. He was literally going to end his life too. He was depressed. He was scared. And God knew, like, okay, I'm going to support you during this time. And so it's like, even the strongest people struggle. Even the strongest people have their struggles. Even the happiest people you might see, the most optimistic people you might see, still have their struggles and everything. And so the big thing is, understand that you're strong, but then you're not strong too at the same time. Like, you're like, God is here and everything. God is on another level. God can help you through that. If you're just not leaning on your understanding, just trust in him. That's all you gotta do, is just trust in him. But then also trust in others too. Trust in other, like, Christians as well too, that can help you in your walk, that can help you get the resources that you need to, feel confident in yourself, feel proud of yourself, feel encouraged about yourself. And it just takes you just a form of humility as well too. That's another thing, just a form of humility, recognizing that I need help in this way. I need, like, guidance in this way. I need your support, God. I need you more than now, God, because I'm struggling. And so, like I said, for me, I really enjoy, like, again, Moses is a good example as far as, but I've always resonated with Elijah, just because, like, again, he's just, like, that story, that just him being, weak in that, being lost in the wilderness too, just, and I always, like, I'm a writer, I love writing about being lost in, like, the wilderness, lost in some ways, because when you're lost and everything, you're just struggling to be found almost too. You're struggling to find what you're looking for because you're lost and everything. Like, it's a powerful theme, because, like, you're lost and you don't know what you're looking for. You don't know what you're trying to find and everything. You want to find answers, but not really, because you're so lost. And so just being lost in the wilderness, and again, the wilderness is vast too, and you don't know what's in the wilderness too and all that, but you're still lost, you're still struggling, you're still trying to figure things out, but you're okay with being lost in the wilderness. But God still found him in that wilderness. God was still like, I'm going to find you in this wilderness that you're trying to be lost in. I'm going to find you and guide you. I'm going to nourish you even too. Like, God sent an angel to help nourish him, give him the rest that he needed and everything too, because he's like, you're not going to stay lost. Not on my watch. Yeah. Not on my watch. You're not going to stay lost. You're not going to be still afraid. You're not going to be like, I get it. You're human. You're scared and all that, but again, I'm going to lift you up and everything. Same with Moses. He's like, I'm going to lift you up, because again, Moses struggled with public speaking too. Even he's like, I don't know if I'm the right person for this job and everything. So, but God assured him, like, I got you. I'm going to give you the words to say. I'm going to be with you. You're not alone with doing this. Like, I'm not tasking you to do this by yourself.
Yeah.
You are not alone. I am with you. My rod and my staff, they comfort you. That's in Psalms and everything. You know that. Yeah, though I walk through the valley shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me. All right.
Just want to flex. All right, that was good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add, but I really think, we just want to harp on the fact that if you are dealing with any mental health issue, like, for sure, you're not alone. I want you to never think that you're alone. God is with you, and if you don't know Him, even with that, He still is there for you. And so we just want to say thank you for listening to this episode, and we'll see you next time.
All right, see you. Bye.